The 2026 Net Wins Postseason Awards, Net Wins style. Every major award in professional basketball is handed out after the regular season ends. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year are all decided before a single playoff game is played. That's never made a lot of sense to me. The best players play the most games. Teams that make deep postseason runs play 20 or more games beyond the regular season. That's potentially 20% more basketball that simply doesn't count toward the trophies. And the best players, almost by definition, play on the best teams. Ignoring the postseason isn't just an omission, it systematically undervalues the players who matter the most. Net Wins doesn't ignore anything. These are the 2026 Net Wins Postseason Awards where every game counts. Most Valuable Player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 15.4 net wins, 13.1 regular season, plus 2.3 in the postseason. SGA and Jokic finished the regular season in dead heat at 13.1 net wins apiece. That tiebreaker alone would have made for a fascinating MVP debate. The postseason broke it open. While Jokic added at 0.7 playoff net wins to finish at 13.8 combined, SGA poured in 2.3 more, finishing at 15.4 and pulling away from the field. The gap isn't a fluke or a quirk of formula. It reflects what actually happened. SGA was dominant when the games mattered most, and he did it against the best competition the league had to offer. This is what MVP should look like. Defensive Player of the Year, Victor Wembanyama, plus 107 positive defensive actions. Wemby's defensive numbers don't need much explanation. They need appreciation. Plus 107 positive defensive actions, blocks plus steals, minus fouls. Not even counting deflections, altered shots, and contested possessions that resulted in stops, is a number that belongs in a different conversation than anyone else in the league. At 22 years old, he's already redefining what it looks like to anchor a defense at the NBA level. His 14.4 combined net wins also place him firmly in the MVP conversation, which is worth noting. This is not a specialist who sacrifices offense to protect the rim. Wemby's doing everything, and he's doing it better than anyone. Playoff MVP, Karl Anthony Towns, 13.1 playoff net wins. The 26th postseason belongs to the Knicks, and within that story, Towns was the best player on the floor. His 3.1 playoff net wins for the entire playoffs edged teammate Jalen Brunson, 3.0, by the narrowest of margins. Towns was the engine in the biggest moments. Cat outproducing Wembanyama early in the series was the defining narrative of the finals, and the numbers back it up completely. Brunson, the finals MVP at 3.0, deserves every bit of credit he gets, including that trophy. But Towns was just a hair better when looking at the entire playoffs. Rookie of the Year, Con Newpel, 6.3 net wins. Newpel's 6.3 net wins as a rookie is a number that would be respectable for veterans well into their prime. For a first-year player, it's exceptional. The Rookie of the Year conversation typically centers around flash and visibility, who played on the biggest stage, who had the most memorable moments. Net wins cuts through all that. Newpel produced, he contributed wins in a real measurable way, and that's the standard that matters. Sixth Man of the Year, Keldon Johnson, 6.8 net wins. Johnson's 6.8 net wins is actually the cleanest argument in any of these categories. That total would rank comfortably on the all net wins teams coming off the bench. The conventional Sixth Man of the Year award tends to reward whoever scores the most in a reserve role. Net wins doesn't care about role, it measures contribution. Johnson contributed at a level that most starters in this league can't match, and he did it without a starting spot. The all net wins teams. A few things worth noting across these lists. Detroit landed 2 players on the second team, Duren and Cunningham, which reflected how quietly good the franchise has become. OKC appeared twice in the first and second teams combined. The Knicks owned 2 of the top 5 spots in the entire sport. And Wemby, despite his team losing the finals, put up a combined 14.4 line that would lead most seasons outright. He's 22. This is the beginning of something. The regular season tells one story, net wins tells the whole story. So once again, going over the first, second, and third teams, we have on the first team SGA at 15.4, Wemby at 14.4, Nikola Jokic at 13.8, Karl Anthony Towns at 12.5, Jalen Brunson at 11.5. The second team is Luka at 11.1, Jalen Duren at 11, Cade Cunningham at 10.5, Chet Holmgren at 10.8, Jaylen Brown at 10.1, and the third team, Donovan Mitchell at 10.1, Kevin Durant at 10, Jamal Murray at 9.9, Amen Thompson at 9.7, and Jalen Johnson at 9.6. Net Wins is an original statistic developed at netwins.substack.com. The Net Wins formula and all content are original works, all rights reserved. Database at willf123 at github.io/NBA-net-wins.